So today marks my first day of summer. Some of you may still be in school, some of you already may be out, but who cares? Because we have more important things to talk about. So, when one thinks of summer, the first thing that comes to mind is heat. And when I think of heat, I think of deserts. And when I think of deserts, I think of scorpions. So today we're going to be taking a look at Transformers, Robots in Disguise, Warrior Class, Skorponok. Now, Skorponok is a brown and gold and slightly gray scorpion. It's not bad. It's got big old claws that don't do anything except move around. It's got nice spindly legs and he's missing a pair. He's not broken, he's just the molding wise, it's missing the fourth pair or eighth pair of legs. No, it would be the fourth pair of legs. It's got a nice big old tail with a very aggressive looking stinger. Adorable little face with a cute little underbite, kind of like a snake. Went up and just keep it closed and like it closed. So, talking about the face, head sculpt, it's smooth. He's got two sets of eyes, which is biologically inaccurate. Scorpions only have 3 eyes. But he's got some mandibles and a little jaw opens up. Oop, that was completely off frame. Got little mandibles and a little jaw that goes meh. Articulation, jaws open up and down. You can do the transformation. Snap the head down, but that leaves a very ugly little gap. Got ball joint in the shoulders, and you may notice it got some paper in there because they're incredibly loose. It's got a little bicep swivel thing right there. His claws can bend inward about that much, go outward about that much. Legs are all connected on a hinge, so they move up and down in unison. Tail connected to the base of the ball joint. Got some more paper in there. It's got a hinge in the middle of it. And there's a hinge to the tail. And unfortunately, it can't reach past his head. That's about as far as it gets. So at least he can, scratch his back in case it can itch. So, at first I thought the bicep swivel was actually going to be quite useless since, he's got a ball joint in the shoulders that can move up and down and inward. But if you swivel them this way, you can actually get the claws to face inward. They can point inward, where these can't. So, yeah, they're a little bit more useful than I originally thought. But, size comparison-wise, here he is next to Titan's Returns Blur. And I'm just going to state this right now. I hope to Primus I never run into a scorpion this size. Ever. So yeah, it doesn't scale well with a car from the Generations line, or at least a hover car. How about a car from the R.I.D line? From the same wave, Bisque. And again, I hope I don't run into a scorpion this size, because that's a big bug. Arachnid, whatever. So, besides just moving around and being all creepy-like, what else can old Skorponok do here? Well, he comes with an accessory. It's a pirate shiv, sword thing, scimitar, whatever. Very nicely detailed, actually. It's a lot like his body. It's segmented and it's got all these cool little designs in them, like little runes. Nice little hilt. Anywho, he's got a hole right there in the middle of the top of his tail. So you plug that in, and you give him a bigger stinger. With this, he can now strike past his head. It's not far, but considering how many Scorpion Transformers are actually able to strike past their heads, that is just Beast Wars Skorponok, I'm okay with this. So, paint-wise, paint and molding, he's got a lot of red designs. He got some on his claws. He's got the eyes. He's got those things on his tail. He's also got some of that gold mustard brown paint on his tail to help blend in with his body and all that stuff. Because this is gray plastic, I think, yep. He's got gunmetal on his head, because it's gray. The body, it's got segments, and it's got little lines and stuff, and the legs look like legs. But, I mean, the tail's pretty nicely molded. It's probably the most complicated molding part in the whole toy. Sticking to the sword in the chest, but we'll get to that. It's got all these segments and transformery bits and stuff. It's pretty cool. But, you know, R.I.D. toys aren't the most complicated things in the world when it comes to detailing. Or transformation. Let's get into that. So, after going ahead and removing his weapons, or weapon, first thing we're going to do is we're going to fold up the scorpion legs onto his back. And come to the underside and untab these gray sections. Here's a tab right there, goes into that slot. I'm going to rotate them down, rotate the thighs and extend the gray bits. And get them into your preferred position. Fold out these sections to form the feet. And we're already mostly done with his robot mode. As soon as I get him standing, because he does not like to stand at all. Now, we're then going to come and gonna separate the top half of the body from the lower half. And there's a little double hinge right there. Just going to rotate the whole section down, and this can be a bit tough. And you're going to want to move the next section of the robot head out. I'll give you room to fold this down and collapse the whole thing together. You can just rotate the head. Now for the fun part. Now we're going to come right here. There's a little notch. I'm going to open the claw. From here, I'm going to rotate or move the arm out. I'm going to close the claw back up, and this is free moving down the arm. There is a tab there, a notch there, and another notch there, which you're going to plug into a slot right there, and two other notch things up there and there. And this will help lock the two torso sections together. I'm going to do the same thing right there. Close that up. And do what you wish with the tail. Stand him up. Or at least attempt to. Okay, come on. Stand, you miserable excuse. For a living creature. They can get him to stand everywhere else, but as soon as I get him on camera, nope, he's just gonna be problematic. Screw it. Here is Skorponok in his robot mode, because he does not like to stand. Good enough. Temperamental diva. So, getting in on the head sculpt. I said getting in on the head sculpt. I said getting in on the head sculpt. Thank you, camera. It's very small, but it works. Got beady little red eyes. Got more of that red thing on top. Kind of emphasize that the scorpion head turned into this head, and most of his face is in shadow. Hold on. It's got a little mouth and kind of a chin strap thing. All of this gunmetal, they're black, and oh my god. Focus, will you? It's like Bigfoot. All this stuff right here is paint, because his head's actually gray. But yeah. He is robot mode. He is spindly. Very spindly. Spindly, creepy, that's kind of his whole thing. Oh my god, I did it! I did it! Yes! Look forward, thank you. So, how big is he? Well, for a size comparison, here he is next to Blur, and with his legs bent, his shoulder pads still reach above Blur. But with the legs at full extent, he reaches Blur's head and becomes extremely unstable. And with Bisque, he is I guess at half extension, just slightly taller than Bisque at the head. Now, of course, you probably already noticed, he's got extremely spindly, loose legs. Especially on this one. This one is just really loose. It's not floppy loose, it's just, you put any weight under it and it will buckle. Like, whenever it wants to. It will never stay. Ever. At least on my copy, because I seem to get bad copies a lot. Stand, will you stand? Thank you. So, I hate you so much, Skorponok. You don't want to focus in on anything on you, because you're very self-conscious, and you won't stand. So, the chest has got some nice mold and detail, and it's kind of like the, abdomen. It's very segment-heavy. It's got more of that red stuff right there. There's a little poker chip thing you can scan. Got some silver on the midsection. On his arms, he's got the same paint work as his tip of his tail. With some red striping and more of that brown stuff on his very weird hand, which are three-fingered and don't have any thumbs. And the legs have nothing. They're just there. They don't have any paint, except for a serial number. So, how's this guy pose? Well, head's on a ball joint, shoulders are on a ball joint, and the claw has this little hinge piece right here, so you can raise the arm up. Goes out about that far. Bicep swivel. Full range of movement in the elbow, although it's got more to imply you should keep it at this angle most often. No waist. Ball joint in the hips. Thigh swivel. One knee bends all the way that way. The other knee bends all the way both ways. You can fold his feet back in. Tail's on the ball joint. Hinge, hinge. You know how the tail works. So, yeah, I mean, he poses pretty well, but he just can't stand because his legs are just so loose and spindly. At least on my copy, he's got really loose hinges, and he keeps falling backwards. And then I can't get him to stand. What? I forget that happened. So, you can put the sword back in the tail, but I prefer not to. And I prefer to leave it in his hands, because now he's got a pirate sword. I mean, it's kind of small in his hands, I'll give it that. It's a very short sword for his bot of his size. But I feel the design works. Now, would I recommend him? Maybe? I don't know, I think there may be some problems if you get the figure. Like, obviously, he will not stand. This may just be my review setup. It is a little bit curved in sections. But, yeah, I mean, he's not a bad figure, and if you can overlook the flaws, then he is a pretty decent purchase. But if you're worried about stability, if you're into that, then he may have some problems. But I feel he is a pretty solid purchase if you manage to get a good copy. So this has been Knight53, taking a look at Skorponok from R.I.D. I will get onto the new movie toys soon. I got one video I'm trying to work on. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. But yeah. So this has been Knight53, taking a look at Transformers R.I.D. Skorponok. And hope you enjoy your summer.